Hello, my fellow soul munchers, and today I have this amazing presentation for you, of course, as always. My name is Josh, and I am, as you can see by my hair, a ginger. And what do gingers do? First and foremost, beyond all else, they make tier lists. And why do they make tier lists, you might ask? Well, this is because gingers do not have souls. And because of this, I am constantly searching for perfection, for the beyond, for a soul in any form that I can. And by ranking the best Disney movies, I am under the impression that I can rise. I can transcend myself, and I will finally obtain the soul that I've always been looking for. So here, I welcome you to the most epic Disney movie tier list you have ever imagined. So first, let's start with 101 Dalmatians. Why are we starting with 101 Dalmatians? I honestly do not know whether this movie is good or not. I probably should have explained beforehand what the rankings are. So the rankings, you have an S, which stands for epic. You have an A, which stands for awesome. A B, which stands for solid, as in it was a good movie, but C, which stands for meh, as in meh, and D, which stands for dumb, as in Dumbo, and F, which stands for forgettable. I do not want to watch that movie again. Now, please, Disney, rescind the producing of the movie from history, please. So let's start with 101 Dalmatians. Now, as you all probably know, this movie is about a bunch of dogs trying to escape from this evil woman, Cruella de Vil. Now, here's the thing. The only good thing about the movie, really, is Cruella de Vil. And because of that, it kind of brings the movie up to a B or C tier. Other than that, it's just this cute story about puppies trying not to get turned into fur coats. I honestly would have liked the ending where, they get turned into fur coats, but I don't think that would have played too well for the kids. So we're gonna go for meh on this one, because it's not an amazing Disney movie, but it's pretty solid. All right, so we're going for Aladdin. Now, instinctively, I want to put Aladdin in epic, because literally it's the archetypal story of this rogue guy who lives on the fringes of societies and literally steals stuff. And he fakes being a prince so that he can try to get in love with the princess, but then he finds out, wait, he's not a real prince, and she doesn't accept him because he's not a real prince. So he has to fight the evil dragon Jafar and prove himself worthy to finally marry the princess. And I also like the fact that in Aladdin, what's her name? Jasmine. Jasmine's not just like this, walk into the kitchen and make you some potatoes and clean up sweep your floor. She's not a Cinderella. Jasmine is a strong woman who sticks up to her father and to Jafar, and she's just pretty badass. So we're gonna go with Aladdin as S tier. Now, here we go, with... Oh, and I forgot to mention with the freaking Aladdin, we literally have the genie as Robin Williams, and Jafar is just the most badass villain ever. So I don't think we need to say anything else about that. Beauty and the Beast, another S tier. This is just, to me, this is probably the best Disney movie, no question. I mean, it's the story as old as time, right? We got Belle, who's like this outcast. She's not really an outcast. Everyone loves her, but she always has felt different. She wants to go follow the unknown. She wants to read. She's very full of an imaginative life. And she meets this beast. And again, Belle is like this feisty, she's got a personality to her. She's not just one of those blank, boring characters, She actually has something going for her. So she meets this beast and she falls in love with him. But she doesn't just accept him for being a beast. She turns him into a real man by producing culture. It brings in these themes of nature versus culture, right? And the beast is a man of nature. Belle is a woman of culture. And eventually, nature and culture come together and they produce civilization. And it's just such a good movie. Bambi. Well, this is a movie about a deer whose mom gets killed. And later, the deer also tries to get killed and doesn't get killed. Honestly, I don't think there's much more to say about Bambi. It's a very heartwarming movie. You got cute characters like the Thumper and the skunk. But it's not one of those over the top really good Disney movies. So we're just going for a B on Bambi. Like, it's solid. Like, it's gonna last. People in 30 years are probably gonna be like, all right, Bambi, that was a cute deer, but he didn't got too much going for him other than that. All right, so we got Bambi as a B. We got Cinderella next. Now, Cinderella, it's basically a story about how if you work hard and you stay loyal and you make yourself a trustworthy person, then good things will happen to you. It's basically a movie about conservative morality, right? You just live your life in the best way that you can, and if other people do bad things to them, you just turn the other to you. You just turn the other cheek. But the problem with Cinderella is she's just kind of this, she just stays in the kitchen. She cleans the house. She doesn't got much going for her, and she doesn't really stand up for herself. So to me, Cinderella doesn't have a ton of personality. She just likes to sing and clean. But Cinderella's not dumb. Cinderella's definitely a C. Very solid C. Almost a B, but not a D by any means. Coco, I absolutely love this movie. The Mexican culture, just the whole idea of traveling into the afterlife. I thought this was one of the better Disney movies that they made recently. We're going for a B for solid there. Dumbo. Now, I created the field D simply for the movie Dumbo because Dumbo is just a dumb movie. It was cool when it came out, there's this tiny little elephant who learns to flap his wings, and if you act like a Dumbo, then eventually you can flap your wings and experience, your best life and all that stuff. Do whatever you put your dreams into in life. But at the same time, there's some weird stuff in there. Like, Dumbo literally gets drunk and in one scene and has a hallucinogenic experience, more like a psychoactive experience if we're talking strict definitions here. But later in the movie, there's also this weird song, When I See an Elephant Fly. It's a little bit racist. I feel like Dumbo has to be a D just because there's not a lot to outweigh the bad in that movie. Finding Nemo. Everyone loves Finding Nemo. It's a cute fish who gets lost and his dad comes over to save him. I think we have to really go for one of these two on Finding Nemo. Which one should it be? I feel like we got a lot of A's coming up at some point. Finding Nemo, really not anywhere near as good as Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast. Not like your archetypal story of the best themes and all of that, but it's still a solid movie about how love and trust and all that stuff is important. We're going for a B on Finding Nemo. Okay, Fox and the Hound. I freaking love Fox and the Hound. In my opinion, Fox and the Hound is one of the underrated Disney movies, and it's really basically a simple story, doesn't go over the top with the plot. It's just a simple story about how friendship can help you overcome your differences, and even if you are supposed to be worse enemies, in the end, you can still be self-sacrificial. I just love this movie. I'm going for a B on that one as well. Okay, Frozen. Really? Now, really? I don't know if I want to do B for Fox and the Hound because now I'm thinking Frozen is a B. Frozen is one of those movies where everyone likes it, it's everywhere, and it got so popular. For one, it has a really good soundtrack. It also has really good animation. Now, in terms of plot, it's really just not the best plot. In terms of character arcs, in terms of themes and just good stuff in it, I'm gonna say no, not really all that much. You could debate me on that, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comments. But I don't care because I'm a ginger. I don't have a soul. So, yeah, take that. Hey, Copper Cab, if you're listening, I am the superior ginger. Okay, so stop saying that gingers don't have souls and whining about it. Own it like a man. All right, enough. Going back to what are we doing now? We are doing Lady and the Tramp. Now, this is a pretty interesting movie. I kind of like some of this stuff in it. Some characters, yeah, very interesting. Lady meets this, tramp on the edges of society. They fall in love. They eat spaghetti together. That's really the only memorable scene from this movie is just the long sucking on the spaghetti noodle. And in the end, they kiss. Mwah. Going with a C on that one. It's just really not one of those Disney movies that stands out all that much, but it's still a cute little story. Jungle Book. All right. I am instinctively thinking B on this one. It's one of those movies where it's developed from the Rudyard Kipling story located in India, where this kid is raised by, I believe, wolves and other animals, and he just really is a pretty awesome kid named Mowgli, and Baloo the bear is just so lovable. There's that really good song in there. I really am just gonna have to go for a B on this one. Lion King. Now, Lion King is, again, one of those, like, amazing ones about nature versus nurture, or maybe nature versus culture, and to be able to win, I don't know what I'm going to put it in, but seriously, so the good part of the story is Simba's father dies, and then Simba has to win, or to earn the throne to the kingdom, and he doesn't just do that naturally. In fact, he just goes off into, like, exile and lives this, like, day-to-day, very nature-like life, and then he has to finally go back and face the evil uncle Mufasa. Is it Mufasa? The evil uncle, whatever his name is, and then defeat him to be able to be worthy of the kingship. I think it's the S tier here. It's just such a good movie. Little Mermaid. This is a very interesting movie. It's a movie about how Ariel, she always just, she's again longing for the beyond. She's stuck in the water and she wants to become a real woman. Her father is very heavy-handed and she rebels against him, and eventually she has to save him in order to become a real woman. We're going A tier with Little Mermaid. Moana, another one of the better new Disney movies. Moana is just such a solid movie. Maybe not the most interesting plot ever, but the way it deals with I believe it's the Maori culture of New Zealand is just so fascinating. There's such a good soundtrack, such good animation. We're going A tier with Moana. Okay, Mulan. Okay, I immediately am thinking S tier for Mulan. And I don't know. But here's the thing. Mulan is just such a good movie in the way it challenges stereotypes. Where did I put Mulan? I put it in B. That's not where it's going to go. Mulan is really good because it challenges stereotypes of women as just kind of being on the side, right? Not part of the main story, or at the very least, they're only searching for love. Mulan is not searching for love. She can fight. She's a warrior, and in fact, she's more badass than the rest of the men. There's the whole song, I'll Make a Man Out of You. She literally dresses up as a soldier and fights alongside the men and proves that she is the best soldier of them all, and for that, Mulan gets an S tier. Great story, great animation for the time, but especially of all just great themes. Oliver and Company. This was basically a stupid rendition of Oliver Twist, which is a very interesting novel by Charles Dickens. We're going to put Oliver and Friends in forgettable because I forget what the plot is and I don't know how else to rate it. So we're going to go for F on Oliver and Company. When it comes to Peter Pan is just such... Let's just say it. Peter Pan's a dick. He's this guy who just lives in Neverland and does whatever he wants to whenever he wants to. And he basically kidnaps Wendy and John and Michael. Of course, they want to come to Neverland because which kid doesn't want to live off in Imagination Land? But he's the leader of the Lost Boys, very, very lacking in terms of maturity. And his enemy is Captain Hook, and this is an interesting part. Captain Hook is being chased by the giant crocodile who has the clock inside it, signifying the ticking of time, because Captain Hook is very scared of the crocodile, meaning he's scared that his leadership is going to be undermined by Peter Pan. Very, very cool stuff. Peter Pan immediately gets an A in my book. Just really good about coming of age story, the difference between like imagination and reality, the signification of just like the ordering of society. Very cool stuff. Pinocchio. I love Pinocchio. Pinocchio's just this little boy. He's not even a boy. He's a puppet. He wants to become a real boy, but he can't because he just has this habit of lying. And whenever he lies, his nose grows longer. And it's very just interesting how it brings in the symbolism of the story of Jonah and the whale. He hops into the whale to save Geppetto, his fake father. And eventually, Geppetto becomes his real father because Pinocchio becomes a real boy. I'm going for an A on that one. Don't ask me why. I just want to. We got Pocahontas. Now, Pocahontas is not one of my favorite Disney movies. Maybe a little bit idealized. For one thing, kind of ignores the fact that in real life, Pocahontas was not exactly just this like, oh, I didn't mean to put her down anywhere. Pocahontas is this kind of, she's this Native American girl. She's probably around the age of 11 to 15. I don't know exactly when she meets these settlers, and there's a lot of questions about whether she actually saved John Smith's life the way that it's portrayed, and also her character. So her character is just too unidimensional. Yes, I'm going to say unidimensional. I can pronounce it however the F I want. So her character is too unidimensional, and because of that, she is very, let's say, just driven by falling in love rather than being driven by like anything else. So we're going to go with dumb for Pocahontas. Very cool story. Disney didn't do the best job on it. Seems like they just went for the money on that one. All right, Robin Hood. Oh, this was an epic one. I liked it when I was a kid because Robin Hood was a fox and I liked foxes. And then there's the bear, Little John, who's actually really big, so it's funny. Oh my goodness, I thought this was a funny movie. He saves Princess Miriam, is it? I have no idea. But, not Kaa the snake. There's a snake in here, though. The snake is cool. And then there's Prince John, who's the bumbling fool. I love this movie. But it's not like one of those Disney movies that stands the test of time. We're going to go with C on that one. Sleeping Beauty! Oh my goodness, I just love myself a Sleeping Beauty. I love to take a nap every night at 3 p.m. and then I just wake up and I feel refreshed and everyone says, Josh, you look like a Sleeping Beauty. And I say, yes, ma'am, I do, because I am just such a Sleeping Beauty that you cannot question my Sleeping Beautiness. So Sleeping Beauty here is a Sleeping Beauty. That's really her entire character. She just likes to sleep and she is a beauty, and because of that makes her a full woman. No, that's not exactly right. And the character arcs, the character, like the themes, just it's just this knight has to come and save the princess. There's like this cool fight scene at the end, and there was some interesting side story with the witches. What are they called? The witches, the fairies, whatever they are. Other than that, it was just kind of a forgettable movie, honestly. Just not all that good. Going for D on that one. All right, so we got Snow White. Once again, a character with very little personality. Snow White is just this woman who is snowy white. She's white. Really. In case you have a question as to what her skin color is, just look at the title of the movie. It's literally called Snow White. Oh my goodness, I will not stop ranting about Snow White. Anyway, she moves in with 7 guys so she can sweep their floors and bake them apple pies, and eventually one of the apples turns out to be bad, and then the prince needs to come and kiss her. It's very entertaining to a young kid. One of the first Disney movies ever done. There's some cool songs in there. Honestly, there are some cool songs. We're going to give Snow White a B. It's better than Cinderella in my book, because Cinderella just, actually, Cinderella's also a B. Yeah, I think that's about right. I could probably bring Jungle Book down, but I'm going to leave things as they are. I reserve the right to mix and match and do whatever I want to my own tier list, okay? So stop complaining about that. All right, Tangled, another one of the better new Disney movies. So Tangled is basically a twist on the old story of Rapunzel, and it's pretty action-packed. There's really good animation, maybe not the best ever plot, but it's pretty funny, pretty darn funny whatsoever. So I'm going to go with a B for Tangled. I'm seeing a lot of B's here. Toy Story. Now, with Toy Story, here's the thing. It's kind of hard for Toy Story to stand the test of time because it's not just like this story that transcends time. It's stuck within a particular zone in time, which was the 2000s, the early 2000s, because of just like cars everywhere. There's toys everywhere. It only really works in that time period. We're going to go with C for Toy Story, even though it is pretty awesome. Buzz Lightyear is awesome. Woody is awesome. There's only room for one sheriff in this town, and he doesn't say that, but he says something like it. And it's a good plot. It just doesn't stand the test of time. We're going for C on that one. Up, Up is actually a very interesting movie about a guy who puts a bunch of balloons on top of his house, and he gets his house to fly away, and he gets caught in a thunderstorm, and the thunderstorm doesn't even pop the balloons. It's so freaking epic, and because of that, he ends up in a cool place that he's wanted to be his entire life, and he basically solves the mystery of his wife's death. He doesn't do that, but I didn't want any of you guys to think I was just giving away too many spoilers and not mixing in some lies in the truth so that you don't know what to be spoiled about. So we're going with an A on Up because Up is just pretty cool. Zootopia. My goodness. Now, Zootopia is another very interesting movie, and I'm thinking about putting it somewhere in the tier list. Now, here's the thing with Zootopia. Zootopia has some pretty interesting themes about race and about society and about how you, even as a small person, can make it big in a big city. The problem with this one is I don't think they handled the topic of race particularly well. There's the whole divide between predators and prey, and Nick Wilde, who is a fox, teaches Julie Hopps, the officer, who is a bunny, that she can learn to trust him and think of him as a friend, even though he is a predator. Now, here's the thing. The predator versus prey thing, I'm not going to get into that too much, but it's just a little bit over the top. There's some drug use. really not meant for a kids movie. But anyways, maybe the kids didn't pick up on the whole meth lab in the one scene. So I think it's a pretty solid movie. We're going with an A for Zootopia because of the music. Just for that reason. Now, that might be the end of my video on the tier list of the Disney thing. Now, here's the thing. I get to quickly switch around a few things just because I am the person who made this video. Now, here's the thing. I think that all of this in the bottom 3 tiers is accurate because these movies just really aren't all that memorable, and then this one's utterly forgetful. A very forgetful movie and also forgettable. Now, in this list, we have a few that are kind of good, like Cinderella's okay. I love Fox and the Hound. Why is it in B tier? But okay, all of this stuff looks pretty good. And in the A tier, honestly, I'm not sure if Up is an A. It's a B. Other than that, yeah, I'd say this is a perfect tier list. Now, it's 100% correct. This is the epicest tier list in the history of the Earth. And because of that, I will stop the video now. If you guys enjoyed my tier list or didn't enjoy it, I would welcome you to subscribe to my channel and to comment in the description that it was the best movie ever, even if you did not like it, and give it a like and a thumbs up and turn on the notifications just because it helps me get more views. And I would like to share this kind of content with you more often if you enjoyed it. So please, if you give me enough likes, maybe I can finally transcend myself and achieve soul status. This is what I've been waiting for